Hello and welcome to the Tweetcore Radio Hour. I'm your host, Mark Schuster, and I invite you to join me on my ongoing quest to seek out great new music, independent artists that we discover together in the far reaches of the social media universe.
Somebody saying it's all in the way that you hold your drugs. And it may be true, it's not something I'm gonna do anymore. Because I'm getting clean, yeah, you know what I mean. Whoa. Too many days wasting away. I'm not blaming anybody else for nearly destroying myself. Oh, oh. It's never too late to lose your attitude and go home. You know you were too mean for something you never seen. Whoa. And I'm not blaming anybody else for nearly destroying myself. Days wasted away. Whoa. You know I'm getting clean. You know I'm getting clean. Whoa. I spent too many days wasting away. Whoa. Oh. Oh.
Than just two peas in a pod. Saying your bag's packed is more than just a little odd. Damn these documents, red and white and black. You know if I could, I would take it back. Hard times, yeah, they're really here. If there is a positive, it isn't very clear. This piece of you that I call my heart, so it makes so much sense that I'm falling apart. I don't know what to say. I'm dying inside, and you're 3 hours away. It's more than the distance, it's the price that we pay. I'm dying inside, and you're 3 hours away. When you were here, I felt so whole. But now that you're leaving, it's clouding up my soul. I think of all the times that we would go and fish. If I caught a genie, this is what I'd wish. Somehow you could stay here. If there is a bright side, it isn't very clear. The part of you that's tattooed in my heart, well, it makes so much sense that I'm falling apart. I don't know what to say. I'm dying inside, and you're 3 hours away. It's more than the distance, it's the price that we pay. I'm dying inside, and you're 3 hours away. How
Hello and welcome to the Tweetcore Radio Hour. Per usual, I'm your host, Mark Schuster. And perhaps not per usual, we have a little bit of a theme going. That theme is collaboration, working together. Tweetcore bands reaching out to each other, asking for each other's help with the music they're working on. For example, I'm playing drums on that track by Junior Ma's Collective. Mike Mosley, the brains behind Junior Ma's Collective, reached out to me one day and said, "Hey, can you play some drums?" So I sat down behind my kit, recorded a little shuffle, and the rest is history. Now that second track has a bit of Mike Mosley in it too. That's a Brian Lambert track. That's Brian singing a song called 3 Hours Away. He wrote that one with Mike Mosley of Junior Ma's Collective. And you know, it's an interesting dynamic. We have me working with Brian. We have Brian working with Junior Ma's. We have Junior Ma's and I working together. And up next, we're going to have another one. This is a Junior Ma's Collective song featuring Brian Lambert. It's called Gimme More.
Thought you and I were on the same page. I thought you and I were on the same page. I thought you and I agreed to be cool. I thought you and I agreed to be cool. I don't need no one saying that I've been doing wrong. This is not my first time. I misread the signs coming from you. I misread the signs coming from you. I don't need no one saying that I've been doing wrong. This is not my first time. There's something you can't take away. But you keep trying every single day. These are things you tried before. I keep saying, give me more. Give me more.
to over such a long time, but I didn't buy that lie, and I knew I was wrong. The situation I'm in, you know we can win. The situation I'm in, you know we can win. And I can't cool down, and I can't calm down, and I don't want to come around. And I can't cool down, and I can't calm down, and I don't want to come around, come around, come around anymore. I was down, I hadn't felt very good in quite a while. I got lost, looking for a smile, and a frown had become my favorite outfit. I was here, but my thoughts and my words weren't very clear. I got tripped up and tangled up in fear, and I know it wasn't fun, and I know you're still afraid. Some things won't ever change, I can promise that I will be right here waiting with you. I've been the evidence, the devil, the fear. I know in my heart, my conscience is clear. The spirit is bleeding, nothing's the same, and we will be okay. And I tried, I did my best to just fit in. I gave it my all but didn't win. And I cried for all my lost potential, and now I'm finding myself in this somehow. I straightened my back and didn't bow, but I know it wasn't fun, and I know you're still afraid. Some things won't ever change, I can promise that I will be right here waiting with you. I've got the evidence, the devil, the fear. I know in my heart, my conscience is clear. The spirit is bleeding, nothing's the same, and we will be okay. And the stars sparkle and shine in the dark, a light we can find when we're lost, and we're still afraid of what we might be digging up. I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there. And I'm here, yes I'm here, and I see you clear, and I know waiting with
Started off that little set with Gimme More by Junior Maz Collective featuring Brian Lambert. After that, it was the Star Crumbles playing a song by Mike Mosley of Junior Maz Collective. Star Crumbles, of course, being the band that Brian and I are in. Playing a song we admire, Brian said, "Hey, I know we're working on this album, it's mostly our stuff, but what if we did this song by Junior Maz Collective? What if we did a cover?" And you know, I'm a big fan of Mike Mosley, so yeah, I was on board with that. Then after that tune, we had We Are Okay. Now that's a Brian Lambert song, and that's actually a special version of that song. He released that on his own quite a while back, I think before we had even really started working together. And, you know, later he said, "I really like that song. Let me get a couple of my buddies to work on that. Let me reach out to Mike Mosley and Mark Schuster. Let's see what kind of damage the three of us can do when we get together." And, you know, I think it turned out pretty well. That's Mike Mosley, I believe, on lead guitar and bass. I'm playing drums. Brian's doing everything else. And I say I believe because we were never in the same room together. I'm not exactly sure what everyone's doing on every track. But that's the really cool thing about this Tweetcore scene. We're separated by geography. We live hundreds, if not thousands of miles away from each other in some cases. And, you know, I'm not just talking about me and Mike and Brian. I'm talking about all of the Tweetcore musicians, everyone in the movement, everyone who is out there just reaching out to other musicians saying, "Hey, can you play on my track? Hey, do you know anything about mixing? Do you know anything about mastering? Hey, let's do something together and make some cool music." Does it always work out? Probably not, but when it does, it can be pretty awesome. That's why I'm dedicating today's show to all of those collaborations, or at least some of those collaborations that have taken place. People who are on my radar who reached out to each other across oceans, across continents, or in some cases, maybe just across the street. Whatever the case, it's all about just sending files off to another musician, building on something someone else did, creating something new together. Now, I know there are some people out there who bemoan the fact that music has changed. It's not musicians getting together in a studio anymore and jamming something out and making a new song. That's a great way of making music, but it's not the only way to make music. And so rather than just kind of worry about the fact that people don't make music the same way they used to, I want to celebrate the fact that we can get together and make really great music despite the miles that separate us. Case in point, here's Fuzz Ruckus of Dayton, Ohio, joining up with my good friend Scoopski from my backyard, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here is Fortune Cookie.
I read in a fortune cookie all the bad things that would happen to me. I read in a fortune cookie that you would leave me. My car broke down on the interstate. I got to work a half an hour late, and then everyone was on my case, trying to put me in my place. I read in a fortune cookie all the bad things that would happen to me. I read in a fortune cookie that you would leave me. I got home and she wasn't there. She left a note saying she don't care. And now I'm all alone, a broken core and a broken home. I read in a fortune cookie all the bad things that would happen to me. I read in a fortune cookie that you would leave me.
Oh, why'd that piece of paper have to do me like that? Feels like I'm under attack.
cookie that you would leave me. A rib and a fortune cookie, all the bad things that would happen to me. A rib and a fortune cookie that you would leave me.
That was Fortune Cookie by Fuzz Ruckus featuring Scoopski. I recently reached out to Aaron Cheadle of Fuzz Ruckus to find out how that record came together. And here's what he had to say.
One of my absolute favorite Fuzz Ruckus songs is Fortune Cookie. Scoopski had just released the album See You Soon. On the album was a collaboration with Modern Amusement. He tweeted about the song and said if anyone else wanted some Scoopski on a track, to let him know. I wanted some Scoopski on a track, so I let him know. I sent him some demos to see which song would work out the best. We both pretty quickly decided on Fortune Cookie. It was a song I had from a previous band, Green Stick Fracture, in the early 2000s. The song already had two vocal parts, a main vocal with backing vocals, and the second vocalist doing a mid-song breakdown. I knew that Scoopski could do a great job on this, and I let him have free reign on what he thought would work. And as expected, he nailed it. It's always been one of my favorite songs I've ever written, but with Scoopski, he just took it to a whole nother level.
A whole nother level indeed. And since Aaron mentions a collaboration between Scoopski and Modern Amusement, I would be remiss if I didn't play that one. Here is Riding the Waves.
So full of fear, seems we lost our crew, our map and our gear. Not another sentient being is near. It's only us two, unless you count the echoes that scream out in anger. Doom, what's a man to do with no direction? Depression's beginning to bloom. Keep on riding the wave. Silence deafens our ears. Our names forgotten so long. Here lies two puzzles, anonymous, abandoned. Will they ever hear this song? All about the ones cursed and forever stranded. Keep on riding the wave. Keep on riding the waves till we reach better days. Seems like in a perfect circle. If we ever escape alive, well, let it be a damn miracle. Trust me when I say I'll never let you float away. Just keep on holding on and on and on until we see a brand new dawn.
That was Riding the Waves by Scoopski and Modern Amusement. I reached out to old Scoop to ask him how that song came together. He said, The story behind that one was I had a song about two friends who ended up shipwrecked alone on an island, and I needed someone to sing the other character's part. For the key range of the song, it didn't work out for Mrs. Scoopsky to sing it, so I reached out to Sam from Modern Amusement, and he was interested. Another guy who's really into the Tweetcore scene and really into collaborations is a really amazing musician named Mikey J. You may remember, I believe it was in the first episode of this show, I played his tune Little Dragon Girl. And fun fact, my mom really liked that one. Anyway, Mikey has a couple of cool collaborations, one with the Kintners and one with an act that might be familiar to regular listeners of this show, the La La Let's. Let's give those a listen. See what I did there? Yeah, I'm sorry, that was terrible.
Mikey back on the stage. Mikey, thanks for coming all this way, man.
Pleasure to be here, Chris. Let's get this thing rocking.
Fantastic. Let's have an applause for Mikey. Okay. And 1, and 2, and 3. stigmata, harmonic values, phone line, deadline, conversation, pillage, village attack, sea-comb barrier, comb your hair straight, ectoplasmatic oracle, run, how run to run on sound, England versus Argentina, Joe Biden, gun control with faith and power, power with no weapon, weapon with words, God-like verse. Being involved but taking over. Stalemate, who's your real mate? Talk cheese, say please, not getting on my knees. If you please, oh geez. Dwarf hands, fine glands, doing things bad with your hands. Play guitar, be a star. Stick together close but go far. See the crumbs, see the sun, see the rain. How's the pain? Where's the rainbow? Dot here, spot here, what have we got here? Crime roar, held whore, rain check, rain heck around your neck. God's like verse. You're forgetting all the good things. Meds help you remember the crap like you need a slap. Wake up, shake up, break up. See the stone like an object of hope. Remember you're not alone. All in all, not a bad image to paint a picture with. Who's this? Christ the Redeemer, the Saviour, misbehaviour. Onside, offside, portside, starside. Every stomp in life's hole. I'm running pictures from a seabook. This nation saving grace, live at the witch trials. I am curious oranger. The Friends experiment, Dragnet. Are you our missing winner? Ben Sinister, code selfish, grotesque, full heads roll, perverted by language, Hetch induction hour, God-like verse. Forgetting all the good things. Meds help you remember the crap like you need a slap. Wake up, shake up, break up. See the stone like an object of home. Remember you're not alone. All in all, not a bad image to paint a picture with. Who's this? Christ the Redeemer, the Saviour, misbehaviour, onside, offside, portside, starside, every stomping life's hole on running pictures from a sea.
That was Take Back by the Kintners featuring Mikey J, and Seabook by the La La Letts, also featuring Mikey J. And just to give you a sense of the scope of these collaborations, Mikey J lives in Melbourne, Australia. The Kintners live in Texas, and Chris Triggs of the La La Letts lives in Colwyn Bay, Wales. So we're talking about projects that could not have existed back in what some people might like to think of as the good old days or the golden age of the recording industry. And that's why I'm glad to be making music now, because it's given me a chance to work with artists like Chris Triggs of the La La Let's, and with the following artist, Eric Linden. Now, I'm not on this next song. It's actually a collaboration between Eric and an artist named Nick Terror. But I have collaborated with Eric, and it's actually on another track on this same album. The album is called Burning Up the Marquee. Look for that one, Burning Up the Marquee by Eric Linden, and you can hear the following track, which is called Cinnamon, as well as a track that I play organ on called Armagosa. But here's Cinnamon. How'd you like the harmonies on that one? Very Beach Boys, you know, it's almost like a very bluesy Beach Boys type of sound. Beach Boys meets Tom Waits, I guess, something along those lines. Very, very cool sound. And I can tell you how I worked with Eric Linden, how he and I started working together. Basically, I had listened to his music. I was a fan of his for a while. I'd even interviewed him. And at some point, he just posted on Twitter, I have this song. I'm thinking it could use an organ part. Does anyone want to help me out? And so obviously I'm a fan of his work and I see this and I just reply immediately, hey, I can play a little organ. Here's a link to a song I recorded with Chris Triggs of La La Let's. And that was a song called J'écoutais la radio. I've probably played that before on the show. Eric gave it a listen, said, hey, sounds good. Let's do this. And to me, that is how I know that we have a healthy, vibrant community on our hands when we talk about Tweetcore. And it's also how I know that this is a good scene to be in. We help each other out. We reach out. We talk to each other. Yeah, we help each other with music. We also just chat online. And it's cool. We're very supportive of each other. Doesn't matter if you live in Colwyn Bay or Melbourne or Texas or Illinois or Pennsylvania. We're all part of the same musical community. And I love that. Oh, and I guess that means Gordon loves it too. So if you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you have a pet, welcome them to the Tweetcore scene as well. Because, and I cannot emphasize this enough, we are all on this amazing journey together. Up next, we have a track by Kiffy, and it's remixed by Anime Reader. Kiffy's an interesting guy. He does a lot of charity compilations, and this track is from a charity compilation benefiting Planned Parenthood. The track is called Kissy Kissy. It's by Kiffy. And after that, you will hear a bit of a spoken word track by Hipster Pug. And I want you to listen to that transition, how one flows into the next. I think it's kind of cool.
Un nouveau chapitre s'amorce. À tous ceux qui débutent un nouveau chapitre, cette étape vous mènera plus loin. Il apportera de nouveaux défis à relever, mais sera aussi une source inestimable de leçons. À tous ceux qui souhaitent débuter un nouveau chapitre, il vous apportera de nouvelles histoires à raconter et de nouveaux souvenirs à chérir. Pour ceux qui sont perdus dans un nouveau chapitre, vous rencontrerez des gens qui sont peut-être perdus comme vous. Ensemble, vous trouverez un chemin qui vous fera traverser cette aventure. Dans vos chapitres, écrivez sur l'amour plutôt que sur la haine. Vous êtes prêts pour ce nouveau chapitre.
That was Nouveau Chapitre. Pardon my French, and I mean that. My French is terrible. Apologies to Frank Raffa, who did his best to teach me French when I was in high school. In any case, that is by Hipster Pug, with an assist by Pascal Normand of 18 Seconds Music. Now, I'm no French scholar, as my earlier comment might suggest, but just based on what the Bandcamp page for this song says, my guess is a translation of this song is something along the lines of the following. A new chapter begins. To anyone starting a new chapter, this step will take you further. It will bring you new challenges to overcome, but also an invaluable source of lessons. For anyone wishing to begin a new chapter, it will bring you new stories to tell, new memories to cherish. For those lost in a new chapter, you'll meet new people who may be lost too. Together, you will find a path that will take you through the adventure. In your chapters, write about love rather than hate. You are ready for this new chapter. That is a great sentiment. Actually, it's perfect for the theme we're exploring this week. I mean, especially think about that part. You'll meet people who may be lost too. Together, you will find a path that will take you through the adventure. I feel like that's what we're talking about. The whole idea of reaching out into the void, trying to find someone else who shares your musical interests, someone you could join on a musical adventure with. That's a huge part of what Tweetcore is all about. And I also want to underscore that last line. In your chapter, write about love and not about hate. That was one of the guiding principles when Brian Lambert and I started working on music for the Star Crumbles. Obviously, we're not saying don't write angry music. We're not saying don't write music that expresses frustration with the world we live in. At the same time, though, we did want to write from a place of sheer wonder at this world we live in. So yeah, I think that song by Hipster Pug is pretty darn cool. Once again, it's called Nouveau Chapitre. Here's another cool collaboration. This one is by Andrew Hartshorn, Natalie Williams-Calhoun, and Cosmic Boss, which is actually a pretty cool band. They do a lot of improv. Definitely check them out. This song is called False Promises, and it came together when the aforementioned musicians, that's right, aforementioned. The aforementioned musicians were participating in the Lights and Lines album writing contest. And I've probably mentioned Lights and Lines before. I'm pretty sure I have. It's a really cool indie label out of the UK, run by a guy called Mike 5. And I know you hear competition and you think Cutthroat and these people were all trying to claw their way to number one. It wasn't like that at all. It was more of like a big dialogue where everyone was just getting together, sharing ideas, talking about how to improve their music, how to approach their music, how to make good art. And it was out of this context that we got the following, very moving, I would say. It's a very moving song, cinematic, lush orchestration. Here is False Promises.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Old whiskey in a teacup, the wishes in the jar, a fantasy in transit that went a step too far. But time's a one-way ticket that always ends in death. Waiting on a no-show is all we did instead of living. I can't promise anything. It could ruin everything. I won't promise anything that could ruin everything. Thinly veiled desires honestly just won't fly. Salt the wound with tears. You've dehydrated, cried. see me flaws and all, a simple solve enigma, just trying to get by while blinded by the stigma. I will promise everything just to feel anything. I have promised everything just to feel something, anything. Just to feel something,
anything. Great track, moving track by Andrew Hartshorn, Natalie Williams Calhoun, and Cosmic Boss. Once again, that one's called False Promises. You could find that in a couple of places. One of the places you could find that, slightly different mix, is an EP called Virtual Normality 2 by Cosmic Boss. Look for that on Bandcamp. Boss spelled with one S, by the way. Also available as a single from Andrew Hartshorn. So you can look up Cosmic Boss, look up Andrew Hartshorn, and listen to both versions of that song. Looking at the clock, I can see we're almost out of time. Once again, it has been great spending the past hour with you, sharing some of my favorite Tweetcore tunes, especially tunes that represent collaborations between some of my favorite Tweetcore acts. Gonna leave you with a track called Locked by Age of Divine Fire, and that is a band comprised of two other bands, Age of Infernal and We Have Divine Fire. Mash them together, you get Age of Divine Fire, and this is a track called Locked. Enjoy, folks. I cannot wait to spend some time with you next week.